remember that y'all can't beat my ass. So. Hello friends, it's your girl, Dr. Brandy Nikhil, the Bookish Baddie, back with another Bookish video. And today I want to talk about something that y'all might not love that much. Y'all hear my dog? He love to make noise while I'm talking. He think like that's him being part of the conversation. But I'm gonna talk about something that y'all might not love that much. But I don't care. It's my truth. And before I get started, remember that y'all can't beat my ass. So take that with a grain of salt. Do with that what you will. But anyways, today I want to talk about 4 books that I would never want to see turned into movies or shows. It's just my opinion. It's just my humble opinion. And I want you to let me know in the comments if you agreeing with me, if you disagreeing with me, or if you have books that you would also not like to see as movies. Or maybe that you would, but that's going to be another video. Okay, so let's get started. And top of the top, again, hear me out before y'all get upset, okay? Hear me out. Zane Nervous. A classic from back in the day. And I love me some Zane. If you've been here any amount of time, I love the OGs. Love me some Zane. And this book, I remember being really good. I'm actually going to reread it because I have not read it in years. But I think I bought this secondhand somewhere. And it's got somebody's receipt in it. They bought some Crown Royal. They bought some water. They bought some Hot Pockets and some Cheetos. Baby, they was gonna have them a night. But anyways, I have not read this book in years and years and years. But I remember some bits and pieces of it. And I remember it being a pretty traumatic read. Like what the character went through was pretty traumatic. If I'm remembering correctly, she was essayed as a child. I could be getting this wrong, but I feel like I'm remembering it correctly. She was essayed as a child, and as a result, she developed multiple personalities. I believe it's now referred to as borderline personality disorder. But she developed multiple personalities, and one of her coping mechanisms within one of the personalities was a lot of sex, a whole lot of sex. Whole lot of nasty, freaky sex with strangers. And as a kid, I was like, oh my God. And then she did what? She did what now? And then what? And so I just feel like translating this to screen, I don't know that it would read as well as the book does, you know? And I love the idea of it because like I love that they made Addicted into a movie, and the same therapist that was in Addicted was in Nervous. And so, you know, they were all kind of part of the same universe. And so I would love to see that carried on, but I just don't know that it would translate as well on the screen as it did in the book without it having to be like NC-17. You know what I'm saying? And even then, it's like, is it going to be a one and done where it's like, I seen it, but I can't watch it again. You know what I'm saying? Which sometimes movies are just like that. And it doesn't make them any less good. But I think y'all get what I'm saying. I do not think that we could do this book its due justice, in my opinion. Now, if it come out and it's good, I'm going to come back on here and let y'all know, hey, I seen it and it was good. My bad. Listen, I'm not above being wrong, but I would not personally choose this to be adapted into a movie. Okay, let's move on to the next. So this is my girl. I loves me some Jodi Picoult down. I have all of her books, love her down. I think she's one of the most phenomenal drama writers I've ever read. She moves me to tears almost every book. That being said, The Storyteller. This is a book about a woman who meets an elderly man in a grief support group, and they become friends, and she ends up finding out that he was involved And he was a Nazi officer when I believe her grandmother or her great grandmother was in the Holocaust, and they knew each other. And what a riveting story it is. But I think it would be, again, hard to translate the level of emotion without a level of heartache that Jodi Picoult is known for. And here's the thing. I love her books, but I feel like a lot of her stuff is so heavy that it makes it difficult to translate to film. Now, don't get me wrong. Nothing wrong with the heavy film. I don't believe in like censorship and that type of thing. Like, art is, you know, sometimes heavy. But I think some stuff leans so heavy that I don't know that it would perform well, if that makes sense. So I personally would pass on this one. Now, I got a couple Jodis that I would love to see as movies, but this one, I just feel like, oh man. I'm a pass on this one. So I do not want to see this adapted into a movie. Now next, my boy, Stephen King. I love me some Stephen King. I'm reading through his catalog. Fairy Tale, when I seen it, I was like, look at that cover. So pretty. Book thick as me. I love that. I loved the first 25%. I did not like the rest. And I just feel like the movie would be, it almost feels like two books, and I feel like the movie would feel like that. And so I feel like you would have people who are fans of the first half and fans of the second half, much like there is with the book. And so I do not think that it would be a good adaptation of a movie. Now, I strongly believe it will eventually be a movie because there are a lot of fans of this book in general. It was just too sci-fi for me in the second half, but like too sci-fi, too fantasy. It just kind of went way over the ledge, and that's just not my jam. But I personally, it would be a no for me. I feel like you would have such a divided audience. Like, again, people who would love the first half and be like, oh my God, that was so great. And then this happened. And there would be people who would be like, oh, the first half was all right. And then the second half was great. And it's like, you really can't get a good audience feeling for it. Like, you can't really get your audience to give it a 10 out of 10 if they're only invested in the first or the second half, in my opinion. The constant readers, that's what Stephen King fans are called, the constant readers probably would tear me to smithereens if they heard me saying this. So if you hear me saying it, once again, remember, you can't be my ass. So anyways, okay, and the fourth book. And y'all, listen, hear me out. Hear me out. Don't get upset. Put your knives away. Put the bat down. Kindred. This book moved me. It took me a long time to read it. Like, I started it, and I put it down. I started and I put it down. And if you've read it, you know why. It tackles, you know, a woman who is time traveling, and she goes back into slavery over and over again. She's in an interracial relationship, so at some point her spouse is also there at the same time. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. And for me, slavery movies are not my favorites. And it's history that needs to be told. And so again, I don't believe in censorship. But I just feel like I'm so glad that we are moving into seeing a lot of other Black storytelling happening. A lot of other times in Black history being shown in cinema. And as amazing as this was, and I could picture it like a movie, I think that as a Black audience in general, I'm saying in general, I'm not speaking for everybody, but in general, I think we have slightly exhausted of seeing it on the big screen, on the silver screen. So lots of other Octavia Butler films that I would love to see. Lots of them. But not this one, for me personally. Now, Dawn, I would love to see that. And I told you I'm not really a sci-fi person, but that one I would love to see. So y'all can't beat my ass. Don't be mad. Don't be mad. These just my opinions, y'all. These just my opinions. So let me know in the comments, what are some books that you would not want to see made into films. And tell me if you agree with me or disagree with me if you've read any of these books that I'm talking about here. Because, you know, it's all subjective. And again, if these books get made into movies, am I going to watch them? Yeah, I'm going to watch them. They by some of my favorite authors. But that's just my take on it. What y'all think? All right, until next time. Bye.